Missed just a quick kill by Amelia Velez as we rejoin you from SUNY Canton. 1-0, make it a 2-0 lead. Speak of the devil, Velez comes up with a kill there, and for the first time in any of these three matches, Mustangs able to score 2 quickly from the start, and this could be a key for them if they are to turn things around, is to build up a nice healthy cushion going early so that you can afford to just exchange some points over time with Florida and be able to play from ahead for most of the match. Tipped up, Kempinski able to keep it going, and an attempted kill there. Served back over by Jackson. Kempinski just a little bit late diving toward that one. And Florida College gaining its first point of game 3 as they look for a straight set sweep.
And Devin Jackson again just so good on the outside along that front line for the Falcons. There's a reason why she was named to the All-Tournament team a year ago, why she was an All-American only as a sophomore for the Falcons. Excellent play.
Contact with the net there and out of bounds. So a point for Florida. Velez looked like she was going for another good kill, but instead we are tied. And Rojas has a chance to put Florida back into the position which they're very accustomed in this tournament, and that's ahead. Florida has yet to lose a set in what is now their 6th match. As that hit is out of bounds, 3-2. 4 2-0 sweeps, then a 3-0 sweep in the quarterfinal yesterday, +2 here today. So check my math on that. I believe that's 13-0 in set play so far in this tournament.
Just impressive play by the Falcons.
Great diving stop by Jackson. Kept over. Set by Jury. Murphy gets a piece of it. Florida unable to return. And the Mustangs tie it at 3.
And you're right, I just did the math in my head. You were correct. 13-0 and in all the games and 6 matches.
Kalina has the return fire by Kempinski, and that's the ace in the hole for Marygrove, as that's a point Marygrove had no business getting, but Kempinski just got herself to the ball, and by happenstance it took a perfect angle over the net onto the floor. Kempinski cracking up, can't believe that worked out, but the Mustangs have a 4-3 lead. Kalina trying to return the favor to the near side. Murphy finds a home for that ball, and Mustangs looking good out of the blocks here in game 3. They've got a 2-point lead at 5-3, and Supelsa serving from the far side. Set, no one ready for it, so Gorman has to save it by just bumping it across. Missed opportunity there for the Falcons, and they pay an immediate price as Katharina Hall comes up with a kill, and they've got a quick timeout from Donna Paramore over on the Florida side. 6-3 the lead for Marygrove.
Yeah, Falcons really need a timeout right there. Mustangs kind of catching them off guard. Donna Paramore, very wise to call that timeout on the sideline. But really, I mean, Kara Kempinski, she had that great dig right there for the 3rd point of this game for the Mustangs. And Kara Kempinski, she's one of the best liberos in the USCAA, and according to Coach Donna Paramore for the Falcons, she is the best libero in all the USCAA.
And that's high praise. I mean, we've just seen the 10 teams that make up this tournament field. She's seen a lot more than that in her travels around the USCAA this season. Kempinski, I can certainly say, the best individual performer to come out of Pool A. But the question becomes, is that enough to get you past a team as good as this Florida one is? We'll find that out in the next few minutes, I suppose. 6-3 the lead for the Mustangs. Jackson going to get that one across to the near side. Hall with the soft tap, finding it over. So Katharina Hall has provided a spark for Marygrove here in game 3 as she's been able to register back-to-back points. 7-3 now the Mustang advantage. Set to the center. Kalina off a Jury. Supelsa dives. Can't quite get to it.
Good response right there by that Falcons front line. Getting a much-needed point. Mustangs are in the middle of a 5-0 run over the Falcons right there. Good response by Florida College.
Supelsa comes out. Adkins to replace her on the back line, getting ready to receive the serve, and she does. Murphy up front. Velez to get it over. Set to the near side, kept alive by Adkins. Kempinski dives, keeps it up, and Velez can't get it over the net. Diving play by Kempinski. Velez going for it as well, just couldn't get the loft on the ball to get it onto the other side of the net.
Kempinski almost made another highlight reel kind of play right there on that dig attempt. She's just everywhere on the floor for the Mustangs defense. Great effort, though.
Set to Hall, and this time Hall gets rejected. Going up to get it there was Camille Krim. 3 straight for the Falcons, and they're back to within 1 at 7-6. Serves straight into the net. Rare mistake by Olivia Llewellyn. That's going to keep the Mustangs in front. Pappas and Nicole Kempinski checking back in. Jury and Murphy to the bench, and Nicole Kempinski will serve, her team ahead by 2. From the middle, Kalina blocked at the net by guess who? Katharina Hall, who is emerging as one of the biggest impact players in this matchup.
And we've seen Katharina Hall in the backside of the defense for the Mustangs. She's misplayed some digs on the backside. She's best, though, when she's on that front line. She's second on the team in kills. She actually had an old school record of 19 kills against Rochester College at the Penn State Invitational earlier this year. That record was later broken, but she's best on the front line for the Mustangs.
Quick answer by Camille Krim and the Falcons, who now trail by 2. Malaya Kalina to serve. Kempinski sets for Velez. Rojas kept it up. Fight for it at the net. Velez leaping. Gets it off a deflection, diving play, 1 hit too many. And the Mustangs score again, and for the first time in the 3 games, it's the Mustangs who are the first team to reach 10 points. Kara Kempinski will get a break as Cobbs comes in. Velez to serve. Set to the near side, tapped over, and Adkins just can't quite dive to it. And that's that little margin that you lose trying to steal just a minute of rest for Kara Kempinski. That's a ball she certainly gets to. It costs them a point, and she has to immediately come back onto the floor. Laura Smith to serve. Adkins receives. Pappas over to Cobbs. Set up for Jackson. Left side, blocked by Cobbs, and the Mustangs get the point back now 11-8.
And Jackson was mad at herself right there. She knew that was coming, but she didn't react quick enough to that. Mustangs, this is so important right now that they're ahead, first team to 10 points. Get back into this match.
Sepelsa back in. Play at the net. Jackson drives it. Kempinski keeps it up. Sepelsa, a hit cross court. Bump back in front. Kalina. Again, Kempinski taking it on. From the back line, Hall gets it over. Dugout set by Smith to the near side. Kept alive by Hall. Nicole Kempinski over to Sepelsa. Tipped at the line. Jackson keeps it up. Set, attempted spike. This time Nicole Kempinski keeps it alive. Kara Kempinski hits it over. Set outside. Here's Jackson again. Hit the wrong way by Nicole Kempinski. Into the big kangaroo, and now it's an 11-9 game.
An excellent battle on both sides, and point goes in favor of the Falcons, but it's been a heck of a third game. This is what you really want to see out of the Mustangs. They are showing some kind of urgency. They know they need this. I mean, or it's over. They're going to the third place game, and the Falcons, they don't want to have the Falcons advance their 5th straight national championship.
Pappas blocked at the net by a boisterous Savannah Gorman trying to excite her team as they're back within 1 point at 11-10. Grimm going to try to even things up here in the third game. Florida College with a commanding 2-0 lead. Marygrove trying to come all the way back. Cobbs able to get a kill there off the arms of Camille Krim. 12-10. Mustangs haven't run away with this one, but they've been able to consistently hang on to that lead despite several challenges. Murphy and Jury back in. Ball in play, handled from the back. Set up for Jackson, who slams Jury, able to keep it up, but no one goes to get it.
Miscommunication
Big
between
time.
Kara Kempinski and Kiara Cobbs. Just It was saved, and no one able to pick it up. Haley Jury kind of looking at her teammates like, what the heck's going on? Come on, someone's got to pick me up, help me out.
And that can cost you a game, potentially the difference between a 3-point lead and now just a 1-point lead. Jury sets over for Sepelsa, and that goes wild off of Jackson. Ball caught up in the rafters somewhere. It's bouncing its way down. That's still a live ball. That's going to get back across. Looked like a surefire point for Marygrove, and they do end up getting the point. What a shame that would have been for the Mustangs if the catwalk structure here in the Roos house had ended up swinging a point in a close matchup over to Florida.
And we've seen that all weekend. I mean, the volleyball has been being played off the basketball hoops that are raised above this court here at the Roos house, but not as low-hanging of a ceiling as Dana Hall across campus.
Ball looked like a game of Plinko there, just gently bouncing its way down. The players just all stood down. We couldn't see the ball for a while as it just took one bounce after the next. 13-12. Now the score is Florida scores the last one. And Rojas going to serve for the tie. Set. Jackson able to save it. Kalina looking for the tie, and she'll get it. As going head over heels there was Hall, fighting to keep it alive, could not, but we are back to even at 13 apiece. Rojas going to try to put Florida in front, and it'll be tough for Marygrove to overcome the psychological blow they'd sustain if they give up the lead here for the first time today. That's exactly what happens. Rojas scores an ace, and now the end is in sight for Florida. They need to sprint to 11 points to get themselves into the finals.
The Mustangs, this is really important. The Mustangs have to be the first team to 20. If the Falcons get to 20 and have at least a 2-3-point advantage, that is a huge advantage for Florida College, especially being up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series.
Just some buzzard's luck there for the Mustangs as the serve hits the net but then flops over and lands for another ace. 15-13 now the score as the Falcons pick up a couple of easy ones to grab the lead for the first time today. We'll keep it here for the time being, but boy, has the momentum of this one ever changed over the course of these last 4 plays.
And I mean, we've seen these two teams are battling so well. The Mustangs and Falcons are familiar with one another. Marygrove College, you know, they had the early lead in this game 3. Falcons, though, with some serious momentum that they are riding right now. And, you know, 2-0 series lead. It's all going in favor of the Falcons more recently in this game 3. Marygrove, remember, they beat Florida College earlier this year in a best-of-5 series, beat them 3-1 back in August down in Florida. So don't count the Mustangs out just yet, John.
Reminder, we've got a full day of volleyball on tap for you. The teams competing in the next semifinal matchup have arrived and are in the stands now as Damon College will take on Rochester University. That game will be coming up next at about noontime here today. 15-13 the Falcons lead. Mustangs trying to prevent Florida from building up the large leads that they've ridden to victory in the first 2 games. That one out of bounds will be a point for the Mustangs, so another well-placed timeout. Mustangs have been able to boost their play out of timeouts throughout the day today, just haven't been able to sustain it for a long time. Right now, Sarah Sepelsa trying to serve their way back to 15-15. From the outside, Kalina finds a spot just out of the reach of Sepelsa. And it's a 16-14 advantage to the team's trade points. And Florida one step closer to the finish line. Now Sepelsa comes out and Adkins comes back in. You wonder how much Marygrove really gains with Sepelsa's serves versus Adkins, as Adkins offers a lot more defensively. Although that one misplayed at the net by Jury. And now a 3-point lead for Florida. Olivia Llewellyn serves across to Murphy. Set up for Velez, and Velez able to score there as it was deflected by a Florida player. Now Pappas will come in for Jury. Nicole Kempinski will come back on to replace Murphy. 17-15 the score. These Kempinski sisters have been carrying this Marygrove team through the tournament so far. Can Nicole do it here with her team trailing by a pair as she sets to serve? Right-handed hit by Kalina, blocked back at the net, set up outside for Jackson. Diving play by Kempinski. Set to the near side for Hall, who floats it over. Rojas able to keep it up. Kalina's spike tapped up at the net, kept going. It'll be Pappas, not able to get enough on that for a kill. Kalina will give it another shot. Bump from the back, over to the middle, and Velez gets shut down at the net by Camille Krim. Big play there by Krim as she reestablishes the 3-point lead for the Falcons at 18-15.
Camille Krim, that's where she's best. I mean, she's very good as an attacker off of the front line, but averaging under 1 block per set this year, best on the Falcons team.
Set to the middle, but a violation. Whistled on Marygrove first. Give another point to Florida College, and they are very, very close to being that first team to crack 20 with a 4-point lead at 19-15. Marygrove needing a defensive stand here. The Kempinskis pass it over to Pappas, and Pappas is able to sneak that one through just in between Kalina and Jackson. Well executed there by the Mustangs, and now they're again going to try to take Kara Kempinski out. They paid an immediate price for this last time. We'll see if they fare a little better with Velez on to serve. Jackson bumps it over. Krim pushes it into the net, and Marygrove gets away with it there as they pick up another point. 19-17 now the score, as Adkins remains out there with Nicole Kempinski on the back row.
The Mustangs need to sustain some kind of run. Like you were saying, John, they haven't really been able to do that at all in this match. Very important right now, though, if they want to keep their tournament hopes alive.
Block at the net, another point for the Mustangs, as teaming up there were Hall and Cobbs. And Velez, who has been one of their best servers this season, has got them back to within a point. Rojas digs it out. They'll go over to Jackson. Jackson comes up with a kill there. Jackson very pointed in her remarks to her teammates before that play began, pointing and making some strong declarations there. And you can see she remains very, very vocal out on the court there, trying to lead her team to victory in a very tight game. Florida knows they're going to have a very difficult game ahead of them. They don't want to expend any extra energy here today, chasing this win in a 4th or 5th match if they don't have to.
And Devin Jackson's really going to lead them. Only a junior, but she's the captain on this Falcons team.
Whistle at the net. Point for Florida, 3-point lead, 21-18. We talk about that exhaustion factor. Had a major impact on Marygrove yesterday, and maybe even still a little bit of lingering effect here today, having to play 2 very difficult matchups in a row against Damon, and then just less than 40 minutes later, as that one goes out of bounds, they had to take on a Lindenwood Belleville team that under normal circumstances they probably would have handled in short order, but the exhaustion was such that it took them all the way to the 5th game, and they just barely were able to survive that. And now here they are again playing the first game out here today. 21-19 the score, blocked by Cobbs at the net, and the Mustangs fighting to stay alive here. 21-20 now the score.
And it's just the Mustangs' resilience. I mean, yesterday in pool play going into elimination play, it just shows the resilience because they're able to fight adversity, even, playing 2 very high-powered games, 2 very high-powered teams back-to-back, and that just shows what kind of fight Jamie Baker has on her squad.
Another block at the net there, this time by Pappas, and we are now knotted at 21. Katharina Hall trying to bring Marygrove back to see if they can steal the 3rd game and try to swing momentum. Ball popped up in the air. Kempinski dives into her bench, can't get to it. And Florida goes back on top, 22-21. Tasked with the serve is Camille Krim. Another timeout here from the Marygrove bench. 22-21 your score. Drama building here at the CARC. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching the live and exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championships on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. Welcome back to the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championships here in Canton, New York on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. John Cabral joined by Sean Tehan. We've got a very competitive 3rd game. Florida trying to finish off what would be their 6th straight set sweep in as many tries in this tournament. Marygrove trying to stay alive, and they will help their cause right there as Sarah Sepelsa able to come up with a kill to even the match at 22, and that's going to drop Haley Jury back into serve as Murphy comes on to replace Nicole Kempinski for the moment. Jury gets that offering over, set up to the near side, tapped up in the air. Kempinski gets it over to Jury. A sneak set will find a home, and then probably Marygrove back out in front now, 23-22. This Mustang team doing anything it can to survive, and they are now just 2 points away from coming up with what would be a huge win in Game 3.
And what great awareness right there by Haley Jury. Usually she's the one setting up those attacks, those attempts, like she did right there for Kiera Cobbs.
Diving play to save it by Laura Smith, keeping a 24th point off the board. Sepelsa pops that one up, fought for by Jackson. Cobb can't get it down. Smith does it again, and what an incredible play by Laura Smith, saving it twice and baiting Cobbs into hitting one too strong beyond her. Cobbs knew if she went right back down at her, Smith was just going to pop it up again. Tried to go long and went too long, and now it's a tie game.
Unbelievable effort on both sides, John. You can't describe it any other way, really.
To the near side, Sepelsa gets it over. Set in front. Kalina for the lead. No, as Hall is able to keep that one up. Sepelsa now looking for the lead. Home to the outside. Kalina's going to give it another try. Blocked at the net by Cobbs, and now 1 point away is Marygrove. Can the Mustangs rise to the occasion and seize this moment for the lead? Well, Donna Paramore is going to make us think about it as she's going to call timeout, and wisely so. Great time for it. That's the thing. When you're playing as well as Florida is, you don't have to call the timeouts in desperation to try to stop momentum. You can do it just to sort of toy with the other team, and we saw it twice here. Marygrove jumped out to a 6-3 lead. Did Florida need a timeout there? Maybe not, but they just wanted to try to interrupt the momentum before that lead got any bigger. When you play as well as they have, you have these kinds of luxuries.
And Coach Donna Paramore, she's been doing it for so long. This is her 15th year. Her team has won 8 of the last 13 USCAA championships. They won 3 straight national titles from 2009 through 2011. Finished as a runner-up last year. She knows what she's doing, so you can't really dispute what she's thinking on the sideline, and probably a good strategy on her part, trying to interrupt any kind of momentum for the Mustangs.
It'll be Kara Kempinski on the serve. Nobody you'd rather have taking it at this stage in the match. As she comes racing in, gets her floater over, played into the net, kept alive. Smith just barely gets it over. Kempinski gets it into the net and gets it over. Diving play made at the scorer's table. This is going to come back over, but it's out of bounds, and Kara Kempinski finds a way to lead her team to a Game 3 win, 25-23. This Marygrove team just will not quit, and we will have a 4th game here in the first semifinal.
Man, that was just unbelievable, John. I think you had half the players on the court that were in the stands and the benches, diving for those loose balls. That's what you really want to see at this level of the USCAA tournament. This is for the national championship game. Neither of these teams want to go play in the 3rd place game. They want to hoist that trophy here this afternoon, potentially hoist the trophy this afternoon. And you know what? The effort, unbelievable. Marygrove sticking with it. Jamie Baker's squad, this is why she was so happy with, not just the Kempinski twins, but it's just a collective effort, and you just saw that right there from the Mustangs.
Well, Rochester was eager to get on the floor. They were standing on the track for that last point, hoping that they could run out and get their warm-up started. Instead, they're going to have to tone it down again and sit back down in their seats and relax for a while. We won't relax. We've got Game 4 coming up in just a moment. 25-23, the win there for the Mustangs. They now trail 2-1. We'll be right back. You're watching live and exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championships here on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. See the teams doing their respective dances on their benches before as they just try to keep the energy level high coming into this fourth game. The story appeared to be told as Florida regained momentum after trailing a lot early in that third match. Were that first team to get to 20 like we had talked about, but were unable to slam the door after that. As you saw, just the incredible resilience and the competitiveness of Marygrove. They might not necessarily be quite at Florida's level of talent, but they're not going to let that stop them from playing the absolute best they can play.
There's so much fight in this Mustangs team. I mean, they just handed the Falcons their first loss in a game, in a match in this entire USCAA tournament. And you know what? Jamie Baker, give her credit. I mean, this was a team last year that only won 10 games. 10 games. Jamie Baker telling us before the game, she thought coming into this season it was going to be a rebuilding kind of effort, but when they defeated the Falcons back in late August, she knew, hey, we have something good here, and it's showing. And you know what? They just made this series a lot more interesting here.
Devin Jackson going to give this serve to get game number 4 started. Score wiped clean, and that hit bumped long by Cobbs out of bounds. So Cobbs, who was very effective with the net play, a more conventional bump there, hit that one a little too far. That's not her strength. And now a 1-0 lead for Jackson. The incredible thing, if you're a USCAA fan, is you could see a matchup like this be even all the better next year. Jackson's coming back next year. The Kempinskis have another year.
Now the Kempinskis in their first year after transferring from Schoolcraft College. And really the heart and soul of this Mustangs team as the Falcons get another point there, John.
Florida coming up with a second point. Savannah Gorman coming up with a kill. A 2-point lead for Florida, something they were not able to attain in Game 3. And that was a big part of the Marygrove win, was they were able to score the first 3 and sort of shorten the competition and play from ahead for most of it. Now it's going to take them a pretty big rally in order to build up an early lead, and they won't do it here as Kempinski makes a mistake, hits that one out of bounds. 3-0 now the lead.
And I'm really interested, John, to see how the Falcons respond to losing their first game of this tournament. And so far, obviously, a very good start. They lead 3-0 over the Mustangs. If the Falcons get another point here, if I were Coach Baker, I may want to call timeout.
Good-looking set there as Marygrove able to come up with a point to make that timeout unnecessary, at least for the moment, as it's now 3-1. Kara Kempinski back to serve, and if you're having trouble keeping track of the two, as they are twins, Kara is the libero wearing the black shirt. Also, Nicole wears a neon green headband. There often just isn't enough time to distinguish their names between the two of them as these plays are so fast. That time, Kara Kempinski pushes that one up. Sepelsa again misses wide, cross court out of bounds.
Sepelsa had a good positioning right there, just a little bit too far outside, though, beyond the Falcons' defense.
Rojas to serve. Jury over to get it. Velez got it over, very quickly returned. Murphy, a diving effort with a right fist to keep it up. Hit there out of bounds, and the Mustangs pick up their second point, 4-2. And Sepelsa will go back to serve. Mustangs need to get something going in their offensive game to try to answer what's now a 4-2 deficit.
Malia Kalina, that attack right there just missed the corner between the end line and the baseline.
Strong hit from the center's position there. Savannah Gorman coming up with a kill. Now a 5-2 lead. Adkins back on for Marygrove. Krim back on for Florida College. Olivia Llewellyn in to serve. Hits the floater over. 5-2 now the score. Set to the near side. Blocked at the net. Kept up by guess who? Smith again. Kempinski over to Jury, but a violation on Marygrove is going to cost them here 6-2. So remember, there is some unique circumstances at play in the Marygrove win. They did a tremendous job competing for the win, but they got that early lead. Also 2 service errors by Jackson. You have to figure that's unlikely to happen again. You also had Llewellyn have a service error in that game. So Marygrove caught some breaks that they're not likely to see again. As there you see another mistake. That one's going to cost the Falcons a point and get the Mustangs the serve back. So they'll take the easy points wherever they can get them, but you have to figure there won't be quite as many of those available as there were in Game 3.
But the key is, though, John, is the Mustangs took advantage of those mistakes. You know, usually if you have these mistakes, I mean, obviously unforced error it went against Devin Jackson on a couple serves, but the Mustangs took advantage and they end up getting that win. I mean, you don't see some teams aren't able to take advantage of certain mistakes by their opponents, but the Mustangs certainly did.
Jackson sets it across, diving play by Nicole Kempinski. Kara bumps over to Hall, diving play again by Nicole Kempinski. Kara gets it over. Play to the near side, hit over. Kara Kempinski keeps it alive, set up by Nicole, and then pushed across by Velez. To the far side, and a spike and a win for Camille Krim. Krim winning that battle on the far side of the net. And despite all the efforts on the Marygrove end, the Falcons come up with a tally and now lead it by 4 at 7-3 as Malaya Kalina goes back to serve.
And right there, Krim's attack was just too much to handle for the front line of Amelia Velez and Katharina Hall.
Kempinski will shove that one across. Tapped by Smith. Called for a carry. That's a big break for Marygrove as Smith had a pretty good touch on that one. Would have scored a point if not for the whistle. Kara Kempinski will come out as Cobbs comes back in. And Velez back to serve. 7-4 the score. Smith sets up Jackson. Jackson finds a spot, as she so often does. Smith has really become a factor in this game as part of the Florida not only attack but also playing tremendous defense. Somebody, a name we weren't calling a lot in the first two games, has really elevated her play as this game has worn on.
The senior setter, one of really the unsung heroes of this Falcons team. I mean, hey, she's a two-time national champion, and she's been in the USCAA national championship the last 3 years as well.
Llewellyn just taking a bad approach to that ball, getting crossed up, and it falls right in front of her front foot. So now Katharina Hall goes back to serve. Marygrove still very much in this, just down by 3 at 8-5. A serve, gets across. Hit from the far side over by Llewellyn. Set by Kempinski. Cobbs able to come up with the kill just beyond the shoulder of Malaya Kalina. And Marygrove starting to creep back in here, trailing by just 2, 8-6.
They just linger. They just hang around. It's unbelievable for Coach Jamie Baker's squad.
Set from the back, Kalina awaiting as Kempinski keeps it up. Nicole Kempinski bumps it back. Sepelsa hits over. Now Jackson, a right-handed hit. Diving play, set up, and hit. Nicole Kempinski over to the far side. Tapped over by Sepelsa. Hit goes to the back line. Kara Kempinski keeps it alive. Set for Cobbs. And dug out by Llewellyn. Blocked back. Llewellyn again keeps it up. One of the best points we've seen so far today. Great play by Nicole Kempinski to hit it over. Great kill opportunity. Another diving play by Nicole Kempinski. Sepelsa hits it to the back line. Llewellyn brings it forward. A third diving play by Nicole Kempinski. That one lands out of bounds. Usually those kills happen very quickly. When you hit it over on your first hit, somebody is there ready to pick up the table scraps, but the Kempinski sisters just do so much to keep balls off the ground that it's just extremely difficult to score against this defense.
Both sides, I mean, for the Mustangs, the Kempinski twins, and then for the Falcons, Olivia Llewellyn, really both sides did a great job keeping that sequence alive. Falcons, though, just get the advantages. Kempinski's shot goes out of bounds.
Cobbs goes up for it at the net and is able to slam it down. And that's something you see as a byproduct is they got into a stretch like this in the Damon game yesterday, the two of them, Nicole and Kara, where they were just getting to everything. Eventually you start hitting the ball away from them because you know it's not going to be effective, and that's when somebody like Cobbs gets an opportunity to get a kill point blank in the front of the net just because you don't want to be bothered with hitting it toward number 2 and number 6 all the time. So now a 9-7 game as it's set to the back line. Katharina Hall brings it forward. Jury over to Murphy. Murphy gets it. Smith digs it out. Set back to the center, and that one blasted home by Savannah Gorman, who got it just in front of Jury. 10-7 now the lead for the Falcons. Devin Jackson will serve. Running over to get his Cobbs. Kempinski will deliver across. Set to the middle. Kempinski able to keep it alive somehow, some way, getting it just off of her fist back to the near side. Cobbs Tried to tap it over. Smith to the outside, and Kalina unable to get the kill as Murphy keeps it going. Now Sepelsa gets the slam, but popped up in the air. Smith the set to the far side, and that one out of bounds on the attempt from Worsfall. So another save on a ball that 9 times out of 10 would fall in by Kara Kempinski. Keeps the point going, and later her teammates able to force a mistake. And Marygrove coming up with a point, now trailing 10-8 as Kempinski goes back to serve.
Kara Kempinski, I mean, this is why she's one of the best liberos in all of the USCAA. She keeps it alive. She keeps it alive for the Mustangs and gives them a great opportunity to, keep etching closer and closer to this Falcons team.
And then ironically doing all the extremely difficult things, but one of the more simple tasks, she misfires on that serve, and she is clutching her left elbow right now, and you have to wonder about the amount of pain she must endure in a game. You think about, a basketball game. You talk about the pain a player endures, diving into the seats once or twice. Well, Kempinski is doing that dozens of times per match, as incredibly Jackson and Llewellyn keep that one going. Jackson hits it out of bounds. But we're talking about the above and beyond effort by Marygrove all the time. How about a little credit there for Devin Jackson and then Olivia Llewellyn going all the way into her own team's, not only just bench, but beyond the chairs into her teammates to keep that one going and very nearly stealing a point.
Yeah, Olivia Llewellyn joking with her teammates on the side after that. Llewellyn may have gotten a teammate in the chin, who knows, but seems all good on the Falcons sideline.
Well, a point like that one will quickly cure anything that may have happened over at that bench as the teams will make their changes. Krim comes back on for Florida. Adkins back on for Marygrove. Adkins up front. Now Kempinski pops it up high into the air. To the right side. Long hit will travel, and that one will land out of bounds. Well detected there by Kara Kempinski. Let that one pass over her head. Nicole Kempinski will check back into the match, as will Drea Pappas. Pappas to the front line. Kempinski to serve. Mustangs trailing 12-10. But playing pretty well at the moment as they try to even this match up. Hit to the outside, blocked up at the net. Velez tried to sneak one past Llewellyn. That's not an easy thing to do. Racing over to the bench. Llewellyn's going to get that over and keep it in bounds. Amazing exchange there. Ball still in play. That's going to be a huge point, and what an effort there by Llewellyn to race over. A lot of times you see a player make contact in front of the scorer's table like that, but they hit it across to the wrong side of the net, and it gets whistled dead. She was able to split that between the posts, and you know that here because the net at the CIRC is not hung from the ground like you normally see. It's suspended from the ceiling, so it was very easy for us to see from our vantage point that passed behind the front pole and ahead of the other pole to land in bounds. The officials now conferring, they do confirm that, and the applause follows from the Florida fans who have made the trip. Incredible effort puts them ahead by 3 instead of where they would have been ahead by just 1 with a Mustang serve coming.
How about Olivia Llewellyn, though, senior libero, just with some excellent effort along the baseline near the Falcons bench, just hustling like crazy on that backside of the defense for the Falcons.
Set to the high side, and Hall got that one up but not over as it rolled on top of the net and fell out of bounds on the Marygrove side. Should be a point for the Falcons, but we've yet to hear anything official. The referee's going to get together and talk about it. As this gets so important, as we reach such a high level of this tournament, it crystallizes, everything becomes so important. They're going to say it was touched on the Falcons side, and the point actually will go to the Mustangs. So a potentially huge break there for Marygrove as they now trail by just 2. And number 13, Amelia Velez, will get an opportunity to bring them back. Jackson, a right-handed hit, stopped at the net by Cobbs. And Marygrove has now put 2 in a row together, so that official's decision could have a huge impact on the outcome of this one, as instead of opening up a 4-point lead for Florida there, now they're ahead by just 1, as that hit is long and out of bounds. We're now tied at 13, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see a Florida timeout in the not-too-distant future, as Marygrove rattles off 3 in a row and now has an opportunity for their first lead of the match. Set in the middle, trick set, going over to the other side, diving play by Nicole Kempinski, gets enough help from Hall to keep it alive. Marygrove still scrambling just to keep the ball up. Pappas gets it over, played by Llewellyn. Set to the inside. Kalina, too long, and the Marygrove Mustangs have their first lead of Game 4. We have got a Florida College timeout, and the plot continues to thicken here from the CARC. Mustangs 14, Falcons 13. Can the Mustangs put together enough to tie it up? We'll tell you when we come back. You're watching live and exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championships on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network. Welcome back to the CARC at SUNY Canton, where we have a 14-13 game. The Marymount Mustangs losing pretty decisively in the first two games, 25-16, 25-19, but now with their tournament fate on the line, they have responded in a big way, squeaking out a 25-23 Game 3 victory and trying to do something similar here in Game 4, taking their very first lead. Serve from Natalie Toth-Watkins, getting a rare opportunity. Nicole Kempinski keeps it up. Kara Kempinski off the court right now, so an opportunity here for Florida to come up with an easier kill than normal as they go after Adkins, the freshman. Nicole Kempinski keeps it up. Cobb fights with Adkins. Nicole Kempinski gets it over. It's defense vulnerable for Marygrove right now, but Adkins stands up to another one. Kempinski able to get it across. Hall pushes it over. Set to the near side. Jackson with a hit. Blocked at the net, and Marygrove comes up with another improbable point as Cobb's able to come up with the block. Mustangs now leading by 2 at 15-13. And Natalie Toth-Watkins, a freshman defensive specialist, 5'4", getting another opportunity to serve in a huge game with her team leading by 2 at 15-13. Bump over the net, kept up by Kempinski. Popped up front. Pappas able to sneak that over, but doesn't find a spot on the ground. Watkins keeps it up. Cobbs gets it over. Set by Smith. Over to Jackson. Jackson looking for a big kill. Blocked again at the net by the front line. Another block, diving play, but it's going to find a place as everyone dove to the ground. Nobody was in the back line. And Florida able to get a point back. Now they trail by 1 at 15-14. And Laura Smith goes back to serve. Rojas comes out of the game for now. Kara Kempinski back on for Marygrove, and she'll most likely field this serve coming to the back line center. They'll go to Adkins instead. Set up to the center. Cobbs whiffs. Cobbs, who's been so good in the Game 3 win and so far in Game 4, wanted a big spike there. Mistimed her jump ever so slightly and just got it off the tops of her fingertips. And that is a major swing here in Game 4 as we are now tied again. A chance for the lead as Cobb's able to bump that one up and over. Florida looking for the advantage. Kempinski keeps it up. Nicole Kempinski over to Hall. Hall back, but Llewellyn all over it. Set to the near side, and that one kept up by Adkins, who's really improved on defense in these last couple of minutes. Cobbs comes right back with a block for the lead. So Shantian, right after the big mistake by Cobbs, she's able to come back and get a huge block to put her team back in front here, 16-15. Now an opportunity for Katharina Hall to try to open up a little bit of a cushion here at an important midpoint in the match at 16-15.
And Kiera Cobbs is probably the best middle blocker.
Another huge block by Cobbs there.
Right on cue. And she's probably the best middle blocker on this Mustangs team. Led the team in kills and blocks on the year with 258 and 63 respectively. And just playing huge right now for the Mustangs along that front line.
17-15 the lead. Ball bumped across. Kempinski up to sister Nicole. And another kill by Cobbs. And Kiera Cobbs is out of the box right now for Marygrove. 5'10" junior middle blocker out of Detroit and King High School. And has she ever made an impact in this Game 4 as her team now leads by 3 at 18-15. From the near side, Kempinski diving again to save that one and keep it up. Right-handed hit by Sepelsa. Falcons set up to the outside. Another block at the net by Cobbs. Florida needs to get it across. Jackson does barely. Kempinski a diving play. Nicole Kempinski bumps it over. these plays getting ever so important. Hit to the back. Hall keeps it alive. Nicole Kempinski out to Sepelsa, and we get a whistle. Florida point, 18-16.
And a good call right there by the official, calling the double hit against the Mustangs. Just a little bit too quick by the Mustangs. Timeout on the floor.
This one getting tense, 18-16, the Mustang lead as they are trying to find a way to 25. And incredibly, if they can do it, remember that fifth game is just a 15. If they can just rattle off a couple more here, despite how bad they looked in those first two games, they're going to have just as good, if not a better chance than Florida to come away with this win. And now you wonder about Florida, that sort of Mike Tyson effect, where the book on him in his boxing days was, okay, he knocks everybody out, but he never has to fight.
That's
and
right.
Those longer fights weren't to his advantage. You wonder, is Florida able to handle a matchup like this? They're so used to overpowering opponents. Now that they've got to dig in their heels and fight, are they going to be able to do that in the way that they need to win a close game to finish off a good opponent?
You would think so. I mean, you know what? When you reach the previous 4 national championship, the final matchups, your team is accustomed to games like these, to matches like these against a great opponent in the Mustangs. I'm really looking forward to Devin Jackson, though, for the Falcons. How will she react? Coach Donna Paramore saying, with that knee, she was out a couple of games throughout this tournament in a few matches for the Falcons, and let's see if she can really go 5 games if it does get to that point, if the Mustangs do take game 4.
Camille Krim comes up with an ace there. Big miscommunication by Jury, who got herself in the way, set a screen, kept Cobbs away from the ball, and it falls, giving away the insurance point that Marygrove had in this lead, now just 18-17. Sepelsa looking for a quick answer. That one falls in bounds, and Sarah Sepelsa able to come up with a kill. Now Nicole Kempinski will come out as the taller Ashley Murphy will come in to play the front line. I'm sure it'll be a brief break for Kempinski. Haley Jury into it with the right hand, sends a floater over. Hit from the right side. Kempinski keeps it up. Sepelsa needs some help. Jury saves the day, gets it across. Set in front by Smith. Again, Jury going down to get it. Sepelsa leaping up, trying for another kill. Llewellyn outside to Smith for Jackson, and Jackson able to slam that home.
A big play from a big-time player. Devin Jackson giving the Falcons a point when they needed it most.
And now Jackson will jump back to serve. Seems like every time she makes a big play, she's going to serve next. Trying to keep the momentum rolling for Florida as they try to tie up game 4. Again, they just need 7 more points themselves to wrap this up. They'll get it there as Jury, after she made a couple of athletic plays, isn't able to get over to that one. And now we are knotted at 19. And the momentum, which can change so quickly and so often in a rally-scoring match, appears to be going back over toward Florida. And now if they can rattle off 6, they will find themselves in the final. Jackson got a lot on that to the near side for Sepelsa. Blocked right back at her. Wow. The block lands in bounds, straddling the line. Florida gets some good fortune there, and they are now again the first team to 20 at 2019.
Sometimes it just matters the way the ball bounces. I mean, nothing you could really do about it on either side.
Devin Jackson looking to keep the train moving. Jury sneaks a set over. Cobbs looking for a big kill, and Cobbs able to put one over on Olivia Llewellyn. I think that's the first time it's happened in this entire match. Llewellyn has stopped everything for the Falcons today except for that.
Well, that Falcons front line, they set that kill up for Kiera Cobbs just perfectly. We've seen that a couple times in this match for the Falcons. Got to be a lot smarter, get it into the hands of Laura Smith so she can set up her teammates.
Kara Kempinski's serve returned, blocked at the net. Going up to get it is Velez, and the Mustangs take a 21-20 lead. Velez, Sepelsa, and Jury all stepping up in these last couple of plays to keep the Mustangs ahead by the slimmest of margins at 21-20. Kempinski comes flying in with another serve, sends it back to Jackson, set up outside, tapped up into the air. They'll go to the middle. Again, they'll go over to the right side, and a misfire by Sepelsa results in a kill from Malaya Kalina. If Sepelsa lets that one go, behind her. Kempinski probably handles it routinely, but instead we've got a tie game and another opportunity for Paula Rojas and the Florida Falcons to take the lead from the service line.
You couldn't ask for a better fourth game right now, John. This is just unbelievable on both sides. Mustangs trying to stay alive. Falcons trying to get to their 5th straight USCAA national championship.
Contest at the net, ball kept alive. Kempinski over to Jury. Jury tries to set it across. Kempinski goes back to save it a second time. Sapelsa right-handed hit, this time Jackson ready for it. White sets up to the middle. Diving play by Kempinski, but Hall can't get back to it. And Florida takes the lead 22-21.
I can't believe Kara Kempinski kept that alive. I thought that was a dead ball. I thought that was going to go down as a kill for
That's her
the
calling
Falcons
card.
front line, but that is her calling card, getting those digs down low. Unbelievable play by Kempinski, but point falls in favor of the Falcons.
Rojas now needing 3 more to elevate Florida College to the championship in a date with one of the 2 teams that's stretching out on the track behind them right now, eagerly anticipating a chance to play. Kempinski bumps it forward. Someone's got to go get that. No one does. How do you let that hit the ground?
Oh, my
Hall
goodness.
was there. Velez was there. A semifinal match in the 20s. You can't let that ball fall.
And we saw that earlier in game 2 between that trio of Hall, Velez, and Sapelsa, and real crucial right there for the Mustangs.
Now Velez keeping that one in bounds. Can Florida play it back over? They will. Jackson hits it over. Jury sets to the middle. Velez for the kill. Back into the net, and the Mustangs will come up with a point. So that last play looked catastrophic, and the Mustangs, with that lingering frustration, almost misplayed the next play. They do score the point. Can they overcome that huge mistake to give away the 23rd point? We're about to find out as the ball set up in the middle. Velez keeps it up. No one's there to get it, and it looks like that huge unforced mistake is going to be too much for Marygrove as they try on the comeback trail. And that's the thing about falling behind 0-2 is after that you can come back, but you have to be almost perfect when you do. And a mistake like that one, you just can't live it down against a team this good. And now Olivia Llewellyn has a chance to advance Florida to the final. Kempinski on the ground. Someone else going to have to do it is going to be Hall setting it over. It's out of bounds. And Florida College survives a scare, survives a valiant comeback attempt by Marygrove, but the Florida Falcons will advance once again to the championship match of the USCAA tournament here in 2013, and they will await the winner of our next matchup between Rochester and Damon. An incredible semifinal match here this morning, but in the end, Florida has just enough to get by Marygrove.
Just unbelievable effort. Marygrove, I mean, they were down 0-2 in this series to the Falcons. Falcons going to their 5th straight championship. The Mustangs' effort, hey, Jamie Baker, you know what? This is a win. This is a heck of a season, for Jamie Baker. Her squad, she thought it was going to be a rebuilding year, but here they were, though, just very close to getting to the national finals of the USCAA national tournament. And you know what? Don't hang your heads, Mustangs. It was a great effort. You gave the Falcons all they could handle, but the Falcons, though, just a little bit better overall. Plain and simple.
All right, so we've got another matchup scheduled to come your way in 18 minutes. It should be probably a little longer than that to give these teams an opportunity to warm up, but we will rejoin you when it's time for the second semifinal matchup between Rochester College and Damon College. The winner of that will advance to play Florida College for all of the USCAA's marbles later this afternoon. And that's going to do it for us. In the meantime, Florida College wins 25-16, 25-19, 23-25, 25-22, 3-1 overall to advance to the finals. For Sean Tehan, and my name is John Cabral, thanking you so much for watching. You've been watching live exclusive coverage of the 2013 USCAA Volleyball National Championships on the Tourbeau Sports Group Network.